Yeah, because I think I did my event somewhere around. It had to, I don't know. I had to go back and look at the pictures on my Google photos, but it had to be at least 18. That's what. When you were putting out your. Then I had to be 17, 17, 18. It was within a year or two of that. Whatever. Oh damn! Do I have the cards?
Yeah, about to.
We meant to tell you. Sorry, I don't have. What I do with the cards I had? What I do with them? Dang it! Did I give them back to you? The cards? You got them? Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't know what they were going to actually play today.
You don't have to play. You could just be a bystander. This not forcing nobody for anything. So first of all, thank you guys for coming.
I'm sorry.
You turn.
Yeah.
So first of all, I want to thank you guys for coming. And as you notice, it's purposely an intimate setting of something that we want to bring forward called game night. But I want to give you a slight backstory on the game. For those of you that don't know me, of course, Elam B King. I'm a relationship coach. And so this game was actually started last year about this time. A friend of mine hit me and said, you need to create a game from your pre-marriage course, because I have a pre-marriage course that I work with clients, married, dating, or whatever. But pre-marriage is like the one that I really like the most, because it really gives people a chance of shaping their, their future with regard to who they're going to be with. So she said it to me on a Wednesday, and that Wednesday night I wrote out like 70 of the questions, and then the remaining 30 I have about, and I think you're in that group. It is about 6 or 7 young ladies that I know that are super brutal to me. They like I'll share with them ideas and they'll say, no, Elam, that's whack, or they'll say, oh, this is good. So they came up with like the other 30. So that's what you'll see, because it's a total of 100 questions. So it was really originally established for couples, one-on-one. You and I are together, and so we just ask questions and kind of open up some dialogue for things that we need to know. However, this summer, a friend of mine had an event, and she had like maybe actually opened it up into a different area, to whereas it was maybe about 20, 30 people. That she has I guess a yearly game night show or whatever that she has. And so, it was raining. We went inside, started playing, and like an hour and a half later, we were only like 6 questions in, an hour and a half later. And I was like, okay, so this is kind of a slow evolution that we're looking to do here. Oh, absolutely.
And people since then, not a mic. Testing, 1, 2. But since then, people have been requesting game night, and more specifically for him to come and oversee the game night. It was such a huge hit. So he made me popular in Tallahassee, Florida. So we're going to try to have one next month.
Okay.
I'll check his schedule.
Okay. All right. And this is my cousin CJ. And so he's in charge of marketing and my social media and all that good stuff. We go way back like Pastor Jack. And so again, just thank you guys for coming. So what I want to do is ask 1 or 2 questions. You at liberty to answer or not. It's totally up to you. Normally want to wait till the wine get in you before. So CJ, he got the question. So do you want me to? You got him?
Yeah. Cool. All right. So the way I'm gonna frame the question, you got 2 sides you can pick, and I'm gonna name the sides. And so, very interested to hear some of these responses. As a 30-year-old young man, I am looking to learn a lot tonight. All right? I want to hear some good stuff. So, first question is, it's a free forum, If you had a disagreement with your partner's family and friends, whose side would you take and why? Would you take your partners or families? The floor is open.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Mike, you
right side?
Wait, what's the
I'm like, is this being recorded?
It actually is, but
but then I don't want to go first. But no, to answer the question, I think I would have to, the Christian side of me would have to say the right side, regardless of if it's, my significant other or his family. but the right side. But if it was his family's, I would try to withhold for as long as I can, so it won't create any friction between he and I. And then once we got behind closed doors, then I'd be like, you was wrong, right?
So that means you're going front, up front.
I would withhold.
Oh, I like that. Withhold. I like that.
I would withhold. I would abstain. I would plead the fifth. I would do all of that. But I think you always want to be on the side of right.
Let's say it's your
it's my family.
Yeah, so
your family that you have to choose between your family
and your dude.
Now, if we're married, I'm gonna go with my husband because the Bible says to leave and cleave. So I'm gonna go with my husband. But again, when we behind closed doors, it's gonna be like, no, I don't curse, but it's gonna be like you were wrong. You know what I mean? But no, I never try to create a friction when I was married between my spouse and my family.
Okay, all right, that was
even if he was just really wrong.
I mean, I would have to know the scenario. Like, I would have to know, like, if he cussed my mama out, something like that, then we got a problem. If he was disrespectful in that regard, then yeah, we have a problem. But I've had that situation happen to where, I was a little happy about that. But yeah, I would still try to go with my spouse. Oh, I'm handing it to you. I'm just moving around the room.
The only thing I would say, I always said when I was married, I never make another person's wrong right. So I'm leaning more to whatever the situation and what sounds right. But again, I don't like to get in family feud. So I probably would stand back. But if needed, I'm going with whatever's right. Whatever's right.
Okay.
You gotta get somebody. And again, no pressure on anybody answering. You don't have to if you want to. Cool. What you think? And I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Pamela.
Pamela. This Pamela. Hey, Pam.
Truthfully, I'm working on this. I was married for 21 years. I probably need to work on being in alignment with my spouse because I'm not that person. I was not that person in my marriage. So moving forward, I would always publicly be in alignment unless, like you said, it was some breach of respect or something. If it wasn't, if it was something that was truly, disrespectful, then I would say something. Other than that, I'm going to go with my spouse. And then behind closed doors, I'm going to let him know, I'm with you on this in public. However, I'm going to check you, in private. But because I wasn't that spouse. I was like, wrong's wrong, and I'm going, and that, in hindsight, I probably would align myself more with my spouse.
That's good.
Just based on my experience.
That's good.
Pretty much like what has been said, I would be inclined to go with what is right, but I'm also I'm not inclined to be at odds with my partner in front of people. Like I think there's a way you can express and communicate your position and make it really clear that I may not agree with my husband is saying, but there's no like fronting and embarrassing all that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna always be aligned with what's right. I gotta sleep at night. So and sometimes just being aligned with somebody is not gonna let me sleep. So I'll speak my piece very honestly, but I'm not gonna do anything in front of my partner.
Okay, come on. At least y'all holding firm with your dude. I like that.
I ain't gonna throw nobody under the bus. I do that.
Well, my mother always said, "There's a way to say anything." So if I truly in my heart feel a certain way, it wouldn't be disrespectful. I just would say, I can understand where you're coming from, but I feel X, Y, Z. Because I can't just fake it. I just gotta, but I would do it in a way that it's not disrespectful because sometimes we just have to agree to disagree. And I've had those conversations and it's just, that's been cool. So that's what I would do.
Okay. All right. Okay. I was about to say, I know Mark.
I mean, okay, so like, short and simple, I'll just say I always ride if it's my significant other, which is my spouse, I would definitely ride with her. And then we'll talk about it behind closed doors. I think there's a way to approach those situations. Family, try to stay out of them, but there's me being married before, I definitely was actually put into that situation. So it was a lot much easier if I just rode out with her. So.
I like this one. Can a family member or friend move into the home if they hit a rough patch? I want to hear this.
I was about to say, let me do this. This is real short.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to, well, first it depends on what family member it is, right? Okay, let's just say if it's a brother, right? Knowing my brothers, yes, but I also make sure there's a plan at the door, right? What is your plan? What do we have to do? So it's going to be a summit outside. How long you going to be here? What you going to do? And when you leaving?
Right.
And then, of course, marriage, you definitely got to let your spouse know what's going on. And that's basically it. Got to be a plan.
Yeah.
And just to add to that, I think that's a discussion people need to have before they get together.
Oh, that's why
because
we
some
have this.
people are compassionate and loving and want to help and can have a partner that like, damn everybody, we're not helping. And so that'll be a big issue. But I agree. You have to have a plan from the door. And the other thing is, that's like a boundary issue. So you got to have very clear boundaries. Anywhere where your boundaries are loose and flimsy, you're going to have issues. But yeah, that's also part of being aligned with the right partner, that y'all have the same vision for helping people.
So to your point of us having to have the discussion up front, again, that's one of the reasons why that's one of the questions in this card, is because we want to put out as many scenarios as possible so that there's no blindsidedness going on. My answer to that would be similar to Mark's, to whereas we're going to set a time on this thing, because different people, you got grown people coming into your home, they're going to bring different values, they're going to bring different foods, they're going to bring different people, and, we're one... different bugs, COVID, whatever. And in the beginning, it seems like it might be a level of humility, like thank you for having me or whatever. But then people just start being themselves. And then if you have children involved and stuff like that, so limited time offered. But there's no years, ain't no S's. You know what I'm saying? We talking about month to 60 days, 90 days. After that, I will help you get a place, if anything.
What happens if they
I can't take on the problems of the world. So I just, again, being there, I know it sounds harsh, but I have to protect my peace. That's the way that I've learned to understand that. So, and whether it's my side or her side, that's going to be a universal look.
And
I was gonna say, it's not. I just need a month or two,
and I think also, like you said, how long. I think some of that too depends on the resources. Some people have a spot where you could go and we don't have to see you. So if you need to extend, it's different. So I think some of that. I see you shaking your head, but I think some of that depends on what your resources will allow.
Don't look at my resources. Don't look at my resources.
It's tight for some people. 90 days might be enough. If somebody's really moving forward.
No. Let's take all this. What if your spouse was adamant? I don't know. That was my question.
Then it's a no.
It's a no.
That's a no.
Even if it's a sibling and they really going.
Well, that's what it called. No.
Mother or father.
Right.
Yeah. Like mom or dad.
It's a no.
It's a no.
It's a no. Now I'm holding firm to the no right now. Solid no on that. I mean, been there. So I'm coming from. I know it is, and I know it is, but that's why we're going to talk about that up front again. So where we know, so that here's the thing. So if we talk about it up front, I say it's a no. We might need to put a kitty to the side, so that just in case that does come down, we got 5 or 10 or 15 to put to the side to pay for them for the next year and a half while they get out of their rough patch. Because rough patch be like a 2, 3, 4 years.
But you know what? I mean, because sometimes you almost got to think about the sacrifice your mom made, right? Even when you didn't know. right? When she had to make that decision, when using your room, playing with your, your toys or whatever, and she was trying to figure it out.
But just like Joe Keecher said, leave and cleave, right? So I mean, what we got to pick the struggle. I mean, I hear you.
That's why you have to make sure you pick a partner you're aligned, right? Because that would be a hard draw to say no to parents.
And then she'll trust you to make that you made the right decision, right? She'll trust you, like, okay, even though I don't agree with it, I'm gonna ride with him because I trust him. And then however it falls, you gotta own it. I'm
just gonna put the Bible on and leave and cleave. I'm just gonna keep throwing them.
All right, this one even better.
Oh well, hold on real quick. I want to introduce my girl T. Marie right here, dating coach here in Atlanta. And so she also has a wine as well that tastes amazing. She has at least. She got a red, white.
Oh, you got it so we can record it.
Right.
Hey, we got crackers over there. Let's So funny.
All right. So this one right here says, if your partner never changes, are you comfortable with the person that they are?
I'll take that one.
If the person that you're talking to, if they never change, flaws and all, are you comfortable? Are you comfortable staying?
That's a hard. No.
I mean,
well, for better or for worse.
Well, no, you dating.
This is before marriage,
This can go dating. Well, this is going to go dating. This can go marriage. No,
it's going to go into marriage.
It's gonna go into marriage.
There you go.
So here's the thing about what we don't do prior to getting into all these relationships. Let's get to know the person. We do not vet. We move too fast. We ignore red flags. We try to color them a whole nother color. We try to think maybe if we stay long enough that we can change that person the way they are. We think that our presence is the almighty. And we think that the person that we're looking at can change as long as we're around, right? But here's the thing. If they never change, right, you have to decide right then and there, this person is who they are. Am I okay if nothing deviates from the way they are right now? Right. When you make that decision, you can't, I can't say you shouldn't. You shouldn't be like, you know what, I take that back after we've got marriage. We have to start taking marriage and deciding who we're going to be with as seriously as we take anything else that we do in life. Purchasing a car, buying a house, whatever our career choices are. We keep making all these love decisions based on emotions, and we leaving the practical part out of it. When in all actuality, the practical part is probably the most important part before you start adding love. So when you put all this heart stuff in it, it puts all these different colors and spins and other things on it, and you make choices based on your emotions instead of looking at what's actually in front of you.
Two things I want. Oh, go ahead. You sure? Okay, two things. I was actually listening to, her name is Dr. Luann Brizendine, and so absolutely love her. She has a book called The Upgrade. I was listening to her come back on a plane today, and so she was talking about regarding dating, that just to your point of the way that Mother Nature, natural selection is, it can actually make you delusional to what you see in front of you, the red flags, because Mother Nature's like, I want you to have a baby. So I want you to continue the species. So it will actually make you overlook things. And so that's why sometimes, and we've all got that friend where you're like, why are you still with him? You know, and it's because you can't see the he, or you can't see the she's. Mother Nature actually puts you in that space. And so looking at the practicality, if you will, that's why sometimes people don't do that. But again, that's the reason why we have these questions to kind of bring that stuff out and bring it to the surface so that we can have these grown folk conversations.
I guess I have a question about the question because
not a question about the question.
I just kind of find it hard to believe that someone never changes. You know what I mean?
They could get worse.
Well, some people.
No, I'm just saying they can either get worse or they. But I'm just saying I'm looking at the question from that aspect about never changing.
And I would think to her point of what she's saying, sometimes people are thinking that, and I've heard people say this when they're in the dating space, and correct me if I'm wrong. When they're in the dating space, oh, they're gonna change, or I can get them to change.
No,
so
I got
you come
that.
into it anticipating.
Yeah.
So they're basically saying, no, if I don't change, are you cool with this? So people need to say yes or no now. No, right. I'm not, because I need you to change doing ABC. Or
I understand what she was saying, because I do think that it's a sign of maturity when you can say you either love me for who I am, or accept me for who I am, or
people
not.
Love to say that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's up to you to decide if you want to be with that person or not. Mm-hmm. But I'm just thinking, when you think about yourself and what you have to offer, you're also going to look for someone that has something to offer as well. So I'm just thinking, changing, that's just like evolution of.
So let's go here. If my changing, you're thinking that, because ladies, sometimes you might look at potential, right? So if today, oh no, I'm already good. I'm like that. So today I'm making, let's just say, not against anybody's income. Today I'm making 30,000. All right. Now you might say, okay, I know he can be at 500. But if I'm like, today, if I never change, are you good with this 30? You need to tell me no right now. I need you to.
I wouldn't factor that.
Yeah.
Part of change.
That's
economics. You know what I mean?
That's a change.
But that's change.
It's a
I'm
mindset.
thinking of change.
It's a mindset. It's not economics. It's a mindset. It's a mindset that says I'm here, and I know I should be here, but my mind don't allow me to be here. That's a mindset. Right? So some people mindset will stay in the
well, I can do that.
And then too, no.
I was just gonna agree. I think you used the word accept, and I think that's the key thing. We have to get to a place where we will say, I can accept this or I cannot, and not waste any more time, because we're either wasting our time or we're wasting their time. And I think when they have a better understanding about their hard and fast and the things that they draw the line and their deal breakers, I think it's easy to decide if I can accept this or not. Right. Because honestly, if you move forward knowing that, I'm not sure, it's really unfair to the other person. Mm-hmm. You're infringing upon them. You're expecting something that wasn't promised, and you're hoping and all of that, and it's unfair. So you have to, I can go with this, I can rock with this, or I can't, and then get out. Mm-hmm. Don't decide that you can't rock with it, but just linger and hang in there. You'd
be amazed at how many people stay in there. Especially, I'm 3-4 years in now with this person. I don't want to start over. Or if they could, kids. If they could just be, and a lot of times the nurturing factor of a woman says that the same thing that makes you great as a mother can hurt you in a relationship, because you're like, well, maybe I can pull him through that, and he's like, I ain't even trying to do that.
Yeah, and I didn't even ask you to help me do that. Honestly, I didn't say I wanted to go down that path, but honestly, we would save ourselves if we would just answer that question.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to talk to on the two different things we're talking about. When we're talking about a person, we're talking about a character. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing you should be evaluating in the beginning anyway, what type of character this person has. That's totally different than their physical and everything
finances
else, their
finances,
because those things are easy to change. But to Mark's point, that's still a mindset thing. Mm. So you have to really get to know the character of a person first and find out who they are as a person. Mm-hmm. And then, everything else fall in line. But please don't think that those superficial things don't matter, because they do matter to us. Mm-hmm. But that character is going to be one of the most important parts of when you're trying to decide who you're going to be with. If they have the same movement as you do, mm-hmm. that you all think the same, have the same type of beliefs, you want the same type of children, all of those different things that we don't consider when we're in that stage of, what do you call it, the infatuation stage and all of that. So, always looking at that character is going to be a big deal, but that other stuff too, it matters. That financing or whatever, those things do matter.
See, we only on question 2. That's why we only went 6 questions in 2 hours. See how I can have it? Let me make sure the camera's still on, but go ahead, CJ.
So, raise your hand. How many are saying yes?
No.
No.
Everything's conditional.
Everything.
So y'all don't believe in unconditional love?
There is no such thing.
No such thing.
There's no such thing.
No, I believe in unconditional love. You're saying biblically or
That doesn't mean I'm going to.
No, we're not talking about biblically though, but in a relationship, everything. Come on, if we're being honest, everything is circumstantial.
I say that because I'm going from a biblical standpoint because that's how God wants for us to love.
But you're dealing with
Actually,
human.
he says unselfish. It never says unconditional.
Yeah. Okay. Look, you hand me the mic.
No.
Like it's my first sermon.
And we talked about this.
Come on,
we talked about this the other day on my show.
Come on.
And I'm gonna say this: if you want to bring the Bible into it, guess what? Even with God, there's a condition. Mm-hmm. If you don't do this, this will happen. That's a condition, right? That's a condition.
You still gonna love
this
me.
don't happen, I know, but you'll go to the pits of hell, though, right? According to hold on.
But somebody choosing to love you initially is not tied to what may happen to you later, someone else later.
But what I'm saying, everything has a condition.
Everything has a condition.
Everything has a condition. I don't care. You could be the.
You can love. I can.
Okay, it's degrees to.
Have to be tied to something. That doesn't mean I'm gonna be in a relationship with you.
Right.
I can still choose.
Right, but we're talking about degrees of love. You're talking about degrees of love.
Okay, how are you defining degrees?
Okay, degrees of love is like this. Hold on. Okay, watch this. There's degrees to it anyway. For instance, you could be love someone or you can be in love someone, right? You can still. You just said it. You just said yourself. You just said yourself that you can love him unconditionally, but it still falls down to another level. Is my point.
No, I didn't say my love would fall. I said I can make a decision about how I engage with you, whether I'm in a relationship. My decision to love someone is not based on a condition.
Well, now we're saying love, and you still with him. We're not saying love from a distance. So we're saying we're not saying overall. We're not saying okay, I love CJ, right? That's different than okay, if I'm with you and love you no matter what. Unconditional means no matter what you do. I don't know that person that no matter what you do, but we love to bring that phrase in. Unconditional love. The Bible talks about unselfish, and we don't have to go deep into that part, but it says unselfish. It does not say unconditional in there. Doesn't. It sounds good, but unconditioned means no condition. No matter he go upside your head, and you're gonna stay with him. Okay. I haven't seen it, but I'm open to looking at it.
No one, after a while, even if you're married for 30, 40 years, after a while, well, some people stay, but then they're not happy inside truly. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But still, even with that, the way they love them then is not going to be the same. Even when they're at a lower state, even in a state that they're not what they were before. You know what I mean? So, what is that?
I'm waiting to see it. Where are they in there? It ain't in there. It doesn't say it. I'm scrolling. It don't say it. I'm looking at it. It doesn't say unconditional. None of it. No, it references to it, but it's not in the verses. So it's the interpretation is in there, but you will not see it in there.
All right, cool. All right,
I'm just saying, like, I've been here.
All right.
No. The word is the truth. Come on, it's the truth. No. Listen, but that just kind of goes to the point. I'm glad we actually having this talk because it goes to the point of some things that have been culture brought in. You know, just like the get married with the 2 kids and the dog with the house and the picket fence. Like we were all just that's no different than corporate America. Like we were given this show, but it's kind of like, okay, is that what it really is in order that it takes to really make it? So if we go straight to I don't want to stay in the word for a moment, but if we went there, it's not there. It's not.
Because we're looking at a word.
We're talking romantic love.
We're talking, yeah, we about to be together. We life. We forever partner.
Yeah.
We talking about forever. We're not talking about.
You know, there is unconditional love, but maybe not in a romantic way with the child.
But you're looking at a word.
Yeah, we're talking about. Yeah, we don't want to confuse that. Yeah, we're talking about you and your dude, you and your significant other.
But they're still tied to a word. You're still trying to tie it to a word. Just because of words. Mark is talking about the degrees of love. There are different types of love biblically that we don't talk about.
We, for the sake of time, we talk about relationship, man and woman.
Right, you know, there's a term in the Bible for a relationship type of love.
Okay.
All right.
You know what that is?
Ain't unconditional.
CJ said we finna move on.
We're gonna get caught. We're gonna get caught in the. Who got the mic? You got the mic. Okay, go ahead.
All right, this one a little bit lighter. Okay, this one a little bit lighter. We'll get back into it. All right, so. All right, so if you have a partner, if you have a partner who posts frequently on social media, is it the requirement that they post you on their social media?
Nope. Okay. I prefer a man that's not on the social media and doing all that post.
But that's a good question though, because there are couples that's an issue if you're dating them and you don't post them.
I have seen it.
They post everything.
And I've had people that start out saying, "No, you don't gotta post me," and then after you post, but you don't need to post for nobody else, no other guy. And I'm like, okay, which one is it? You know, because you have your reasons for why you might not want to post him. You don't want everybody female, because once you label a male, them females gonna get in the DM and be like, "Oh, you treating her this way? I can do this for you." Da da da. You got a Portia and what's his name type situation.
I think you don't need to be private. You need to be private about certain things.
Like that relationship part, while you're working it through, you need to be quiet. Like I'm serious, because do you know how many times you break up, come back, have conversations, may not, like you really need to be quiet. I never put anybody on my social media until I was engaged. Now, anybody who knows me knows I didn't have a person on my social media until I got engaged, right? Otherwise, there was nobody on my social media, because that's not your business, one. And I don't know what we gonna go through. You know what I'm saying? The next thing you know, you be like, ooh, they together. Ooh, no, they not. You know, she took all the pictures down. You know, because you go through those ups and downs and those ins and outs. And so until you really have solidified your relationship, I just think throwing somebody on there, I don't think it's a good idea. Keep your pride, because there's some things you gotta work on.
And I always go to, you know, when that happens, then if y'all break up, then now you got to explain. I be wanting to know what happened. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you was so. Y'all look good together. What happened?
Everybody, now all the pictures gone.
That's a lot of explaining.
You can be creative in how you post them, though. You can be very creative in that.
I'm just not.
Elaborate on that a little bit. So you be creative.
Yes, you don't have to say this my boo. You know what I mean? You can just make it seem as if y'all are just cool.
On the table.
Got a little elbow, you know what I'm saying? That look like a man elbow that she with. So yeah, she with somebody.
Yeah, you can be creative. You can be very discreet in how you post. Yeah. Or you could be consistent with how you take pictures with all guys. You know, everybody. Because I had an ex that he was like, if a man put his hand around you, then he had a problem with that. And I was like, well, that's just common when you're taking a picture with someone to put your hand around their waist. You know, I know, but he wanted if I took a picture with a man that his hand needed to be up top. It couldn't be down bottom.
If it's round the waist, I would probably raise a little eyebrow. You know, if it's round the waist.
Yeah, I want to buy grandma.
Yeah, I don't want that either. I was just trying to be devil's advocate real quick.
But here's the thing. I mean, if it's in the moment, if it's a real close friend and y'all embrace and hug, and someone takes a picture, then you got to be like, oh, I can't post that picture because he's gonna, be into
it. Yeah, it is respect.
Oh, that's respect.
And the other thing, it doesn't be a lot of weight on me to post the picture, which really doesn't make sense to me. In general, with people, I feel like there's just too much validation attached to whether you post or you don't post. We have placed that meaning on that. And I will add, I do think if you know you have a partner that prefers that men not touch you in that way, I think you just naturally adjust.
Right.
I don't think it's I would just sort of move. Yeah.
But that's
Because I think that's consideration. If your partner's uncomfortable with that, you don't want to engage in something that makes them uncomfortable.
That's word.
I don't think that.
Well, then let me ask you this. Let me ask the guy. Then, if you go out and you see one of your female friends that's like strictly platonic, just friends, and you go in to hug her or take a picture, and you put your hand, she say, don't touch me. You know, my man.
Yeah, I would back. I'd be like, all right, girl. I'm gonna crack a joke. I'm gonna be like, I already got mine.
And then you gonna be like, y'all gonna be broken up naked.
I'm gonna crack a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, girl, you know we together. You know, I'm gonna just like play it off or whatever. But
I get from your standpoint of you also don't want to, if you're the one you're taking the picture and your spouse has a problem with it. So speaking from like a guy's perspective, in the industries that I'm in, a lot of the women are very like friendly, you know, they might like hug up on you taking the picture, but it's nothing wrong necessarily happening. But let's say my partner has an issue with it. I can't just go to the event and every person that like hugs me and like, hey, no. Now people looking at me like,
to me, that sounds like really a partner not aligned. They don't understand. I mean, who wants to spend all their time having to justify their moves? It sounds like you and your partner are not aligned, and that's okay.
But and then also based upon whatever your line of work might be or the venue that you might be at, that person needs to understand. So, for example, I took my ex to the very first Hampton homecoming. After that one, never again. It was a disaster because I know a lot of people, I'm getting hugged like every 2 minutes. And so on average, it's actually a joke for Hampton people like, don't bring your spouse if they didn't go here or if they didn't go to another HBCU because they're not going to understand why you're hugging every 2 minutes and the people look good. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they do. I hear you, but that's just a universal thing that we actually joke about at my school. Like, don't bring your spouse.
Yeah, all HBCUs. Yeah, I mean, my ex went to Morehouse, I went to Clark, and we all had friends. So it was hugging from every angle from all, because that's just what it is. And so, but like you say, in the beginning, I always said, I cannot date nor marry a jealous man or insecure. So, because women come up to him and stuff, but as long as it's not disrespectful.
Right.
But I mean, guys hugging me, we kiss on the jaw. I mean, it's just, you got to know your.
No, but it was understood. No, it was understood because she's Clark. He was more, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was understood. But for somebody who was at a PWI, they wouldn't understand. I'm just, most people are from a PWI.
It was not an issue. I mean, I just.
Well, we're just using that as an example.
Yeah, we got to hear what Mark is over here choking.
Right.
Okay. You know what though?
Yeah. But that's the thing. He understood it. Y'all were able to work the crowd. So if somebody didn't go to,
I ain't doing. This is Elam show.
No. I'm just saying. Nah.
I didn't mean I can wait.
Nah, you good. Because
No. I was getting ready to say. I think it's more so on the vibe, right? As a man, you don't ever want to have a guy think that it's even a possibility when you're around, right? Guys try it. Y'all might not see that, right? But we see it, right? We that's our instinct. And I understand as a women, I mean, just like before, like you guys, not all due respect, you guys just walk through the woods and the wolves around you. You don't know, look at it, all over while so.
But then y'all, but on the flip side, I've heard the same thing from women too. Like we can't see it.
It could be some. Look,
you didn't see how she on you.
It could be some killers. It could be some killers in the alley. Y'all be like, "Come on, baby, let's go this way." No, we going this way.
Yeah.
I know. So. But you know what? Right. It's a sport. It's a sport for us. You know, it's like a sport. It is a sport, yes, because one guy is is acting certain kind of way, like he's gonna push up, and I'm over here on the fence mode. It's a sport, y'all. That's the thing y'all don't understand, and I understand you're not supposed to. Like, we're not gonna understand how y'all look at it, right? But understand, it's a sport. Okay, listen. This is what I'm saying, right? Like there's no absolutes. There's not 100% of nothing in life, but we know the vibe when we say, "Hey, just." We'll talk about it at the house.
So I have a question for you, Elam. So when you took your wife to Hampton's homecoming,
I hate you.
Ex-husband is husband, and ex-wife is wife.
I am today years old. I heard about husband. I never heard about wife.
Okay, so when you took your wife to Hampton homecoming, did y'all have the conversation before homecoming?
I did, and it still didn't go well.
Oh, okay.
It didn't go well.
It can be overwhelming, though. It can be.
It was. I mean, it was like it was an argument, and after that, she actually said, "I'm never going back." But then her friend sister went to the same school and kind of schooled her, like, "Listen, that's how it is." So she kind of smoothed it out for me, like, "No, I mean, you got it. It just."
She went to a PWI.
Yeah. Oh. So that's why I wasn't.
But it's not even.
I went to I went to a PWI in FSU family. The FSU, the PWI, there is a major difference.
Oh, sure.
Family.
But it's the person.
Yeah,
but I'm sorry. That's the
person. It's the vibe.
No, the love is a little different. The love is a little different.
Whatever setting that is, I'm gonna have to stand firm on that. Your comfort with yourself and your partner cannot change based on your sex.
But I don't think that it's a matter of in that regard. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sometimes it is a level of respect and disrespect because of how women approach men. You know, you do have some fast girls.
Not fast. Not fast. That is straight old school right there. Your fast self.
So there is a level of disrespect that can occur. And if the wife is looking good, they gonna be like, "Oh,
hey, y'all, we got like 5 minutes left of video, so I think he got with like one more question. Now y'all can see how we can go 2 hours on 6 questions. So we only on the third question.
All right. I mean, so this one is along the lines. So it's in the same neighborhood, right? So if you previously, you're dating, you have a best friend or close friends of the opposite gender. And this person says, if we're going to be together, that's a no-go for me. Are you going to continue or be able to continue in this relationship?
I don't understand at all.
If you have a friend of the opposite sex,
their person is like, no, you have that friend. Yeah, that's a hard no.
Hard no of what?
A hard no. So I'm gonna check.
So y'all two are together.
My friend is a male, and he was here before you came along. And my friendship with him is not going to end because you're now in my life.
So to be clear, you with Mark, you gonna break up with Mark and be like, "Yo, Mark, I'm gonna still be friends with such and such."
Yeah, asking the question. Yep.
Am I having a friend of the opposite sex is an issue? Then that is a no-go for me. That's a red flag, right?
What if we're further down the road? We're 2 years in. We about to do this thing. No, hear me out. That's when it comes out a lot of times. It might not come out in the beginning. A lot of stuff pops out down the road. So now you 2-3 years in.
2 years in that you are jealous now of my friend.
Yes, you and Mark, y'all about to head down now. Huh?
They might have been holding.
Yes. Come on. Now you love, now y'all in, y'all might have a kid, whatever, and you gonna leave Mark?
Mark, it's gonna be a difficult situation.
Of course.
Because I'm not gonna say I'm just gonna leave Mark at that point if we're 2 years in. But my thing is, if this is a close friend of mine, you would have known this earlier than 2 years. And so if 2 years down the road, you gonna flip it on me like that, then I'm probably out. Because what you've been doing, you've been lying.
Mark.
You've been lying. You've been lying.
She ain't leaving Mark. She ain't leaving him. That's what I'm saying. Like, it sounds good. You not leaving him. You are not leaving him. Like, we need to stop this. Let's tell the real. You are not leaving Mark.
No friends
Mark gonna
left
show you
behind,
why
right?
you ain't never gonna leave him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't leaving Mark.
That is so funny. But seriously, I mean, now that I've been divorced like 4 years, right? And even from the very beginning, I had a friend, his name was T.Y. Okay? T.Y. loved me. He wanted to date me, and I said, T.Y., I just can't. You can only be my friend, right?
Was the wife of Young?
Huh?
Was the wife of Young?
T.Y.
That's why you couldn't do it.
No, he was actually older. But no, seriously. And so I told him, I said, listen, I'd rather be friends or no friends. I said, because I will never date you. I don't have a connection like that. Right? Watch this. So, but he was always like my buddy. I mean, we ate together, we went out to eat and all of this, just strictly friends. And he wanted to like that. I said, no, it will never go past friend zone. Watch this. So I ended up dating my ex, right? Okay. Well, when I say ex, meaning, so when I met Porter, I was very clear. I said, I have a lot of male friends. Okay. And so it's important that you understand T.Y. will always be in my life. He will cook for me. He will do whatever. He flew out to California. I wanted some collard greens. I had never cooked a Thanksgiving meal. He came out there, right? But I told him from the very beginning, that was now my husband, but I told him, we're just like this. So they got a chance to meet, talk, we fellowship together, and it was cool, right? And so we've always had that. And so I have male friends, even throughout the whole marriage. He had female friends, they were just like this. He never had a sister, so but it was all mutual respect. So, I talked to them. We were all friends, but I said that on the front end. Unlike another person that I was dating before the person I married, right? I saw that jealous streak or insecure streak, right? And I was like, oh wow. I said, he was asking me about something. Make a long story short, and I said, no, that's just a friend of mine. He's like, well, he likes you or whatever. I said, he can like me if he wants. I said, but you will never cross the line of this, being disrespectful. So I introduced him to make sure. And so I was like, now do you understand? He's like, okay, got it. But so you have to have that dialogue up front. Because if someone is insecure, and I know I have a lot of male friends, I mean, Elam and I like buddies. I mean, like this, right? So he was friends with my ex. You know what I'm saying? So I never allowed the men to cross that, to be disrespectful.
Right.
And so he trusted me so that was just never an issue. Right. It really wasn't. And even to this day, now T.Y., I'm divorced 4 years, and he finds out, right? He's like, Donna! No. He's like, okay, I just thought.
Did he ever?
But it definitely takes a...
Yeah, he did, but he just
hold that in. That's why.
No, just waiting for the door.
No.